What's up my friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're making the ByWater, a modern cocktail I recently discovered that I can't live without anymore. And that's because one of my good friend, Jeremy, that's him. We used to work together at the Chateau Frontenac. He's a great bartender, and even though now we are in separate countries, we haven't lost that great habit of sharing about cocktails. And while a little conversation, he talked to me about this drink, and I was amazed when I tried it. So you can thank him for this video of today. So guys, I'm thirsty, I'm sure you are. Go grab your mixing glass. We're gonna make a delicious, amazing ByWater together right now. The ByWater was created in 2008 by Chris Hanna from the Arnold's French 75 bar in New Orleans. He named the cocktail after the beautiful, artsy, colorful Caribbean neighborhood of the city. And it makes sense when you look at the flavors from the cocktail, the delicious vanilla notes from the aged rum, the taste of citruses, herbs, cloves, and other spices from the liqueurs. It makes a great stir-down cocktail with a tropical flair. Tasty. This cocktail is actually so good. I don't know why it didn't make it as big as some other modern classics, like the Paper Plane for example. I think it has to do with the fact that some ingredients in that drink are not readily available for everyone. And I think the creator knew it, and he came up pretty much at the same time with a second recipe for the same drink with ingredients that are easier to find. And today we're gonna make them both, the original and the alternative. We're also gonna crack open a very special bottle for the occasion, and I can't wait. So now for the ingredients of the original recipe, we're gonna need aged rum, and today I'm using Havana Club 7 years old. We're also gonna need Amer Picon, Falernum, Green Chartreuse, and Peychaud bitters. For the second recipe, we're simply gonna take out of the equation the Amer Picon. We're gonna replace it by Havana, and we're gonna add some Orange Angostura bitters. You may have noticed that my bottle of Picon is a vintage one, and I'm so thrilled I was able to get it. That's because of one of our subscribers. After watching our video about the Brooklyn, when I talk about my love for Picon, he found a seller with 2 vintage bottles. He got the first one and sent me the link for the second one. So Felix, I can't thank you enough. I highly appreciate that. So now we're gonna crack it open and see if we can use it in the cocktail. And if we can't because it went bad over the years, don't worry, we have an alternative. I'm gonna use Picon Bière. I know it's a little bit different than the Amer Picon, but I was not able to get any modern Amer Picon in my local store. But I know that this is close enough, and I know it works really well in the ByWater. It is simply a little bit sweeter and lower in ABV. So now let's crack this one up, test it side by side with this one, and let's make a choice. Can't wait. It smells amazing. I'm actually very happily surprised. So I get a lot of oranges, some herbs, gentian, and a lot of kind of burnt caramel, almost like dulce de leche, a little bit overcooked. This one is brighter, even though I know this one is more sugary. There's more sugar in this one. I feel that it's kind of lighter in texture. Can't wait to try them. Let's go. It's good. There's almost a little bit of coffee flavor to it. It is really nice. Now let's try the Picon Bière. It is not as complex. It's good. The vintage Picon is very complex. It has some burnt caramel, toffee notes, a little bit of orange, but it's not dominant, and it has a very long finish and develops beautiful bitterness on the back palate. On the other end, the Picon Bière, it is much lighter, brighter with the orange flavors, and it's also a little bit sweeter and doesn't have much of a long finish. It doesn't have that much of bitterness. Both will work, in my opinion, very nicely in the cocktail, but I've made a choice for my own pleasure. I'm gonna use the vintage one today. Let's make the cocktails. So first, in a mixing glass, we're gonna pour 1 3/4 ounces or 52.5 mils of our rum, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 mils of Amer Picon, a scant ½ ounce or 10 mils of Green Chartreuse, 1/4 ounce or 7.5 mils of Falernum, and 2 dashes of Peychaud bitters. We can now fill the mixing glass with ice and stir it for about 60 revolutions. We're gonna strain the cocktail in a cocktail coupe or a Nicanora, up to you, but serve it up. And we're simply gonna garnish it with a cocktail cherry on a pic. And this is it. This is how we make the original ByWater with vintage Amer Picon. Cheers. Oh, this is amazing. It's even better than with the Picon Bière. On the nose, we get the herbaceousness from the Chartreuse, obviously the richness from the rum and the Picon. Then we get some very nice, bright flavors from the Falernum, the clove and its spiciness, the lime zest that we have in the Falernum makes it bright with the orange flavors from the Picon. I know I like the ByWater with Havana and orange bitters, but I have the feeling, never tried them side by side, I have a feeling, but I'll tell you after I make it. Let's do the alternative version of the ByWater. Let's do it. So let's do it again with 1 3/4 ounces or 52.5 mils of our rum in a mixing glass. 3/4 ounce or 22.5 mils of Havana. A scant ½ ounce or 10 mils of Green Chartreuse. 1/4 ounce or 7.5 mils of Falernum. 2 dashes of Peychaud bitters. And because we don't have the orange flavors in the Havana like we do in the Picon, we're gonna add 2 dashes of Orange Angostura bitters. Once again, we're gonna fill the mixing glass with ice and stir it for about 60 revolutions. We're gonna strain the cocktail in the same kind of glass. We're gonna up slightly the orange notes with the orange zest that we're gonna express over the cocktail. We're gonna discard this one. And we're also gonna garnish it with a cocktail cherry on a pic. And this is how Chris Hanna made his own alternative on his ByWater cocktail. Cheers. On the nose, we get brighter notes. It is not as herbaceous, it is sweeter on the nose. It's actually really good. I feel the Falernum is slightly overpowered by the Havana, but it's still there. We get some nice bright orange flavors because of the Ango orange and the orange zest. In the original one, we get some bright flavors from the Falernum, and the orange is more like cooked, like burnt caramel, orange zest flavor. Here it is more like bright oranges. Both are really good. It's really hard to pick a favorite one. If I had to pick one, I would go with the original version with the Picon. I have a feeling, and maybe I'm biased because I just cracked open my vintage bottle of Picon and I love it, but I had the same feeling with the Picon Bière. I feel it is more balanced. We get more of the Falernum, we get more of the herbaceousness on the nose. The orange flavors are there, but they're not dominant. Everything is well balanced. While with the Havana, we get a little bit of the same flavor spectrum, but it's actually slightly unbalanced. Like we get like a kick of bright, fresh citrus on the nose, and then it's kind of sweet on the palate, and we lose a little bit of that delicious Falernum, but still, it is a great alternative, and that's why it is an alternative. So what I would say, what I would tell you, if you can't get real Amer Picon or Picon Bière or vintage Amer Picon, I have a recipe of homemade Amer Picon, which is actually a few ingredients mixed together. It's not cooking, it's just like you pour some 4 or 5 liquids together and you're good. I'm gonna write the recipe down in the description down below, and I have the feeling, I haven't tried it because I don't have everything here right now to make it, but I have the feeling that it would play very nicely and probably a little bit nicer than the Havana and Angostura orange plays in this cocktail. So I would love you to try it. If you can, let me know in the comments how you liked it, or if you are on Instagram, tag us in your stories, on your posts. We will reshare the cocktail, and I would be very thrilled to know if you like my homemade Picon recipe in the ByWater. So guys, that's it for me today. I hope you liked this video. Leave us a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit the like and the bell if you want to be notified when we post a new cocktail video. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and see you very soon. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Felix. And thank you, Chris. Cheers. This is good. Falernum? No.
Falernum.
Falernum. Falernum.